Hey everybody, and welcome to a demo of Tanzu Application Service for Kubernetes. So what is Tanzu Application Service for Kubernetes? Tanzu Application Service for Kubernetes is an evolution of Tanzu Application Service that is basically Cloud Foundry Application Platform. So Cloud Foundry Application Platform has been around for a long time. It's CF push, Cloud Foundry push, one command to take your code from a raw code into a container running in your production, with everything being taken care of by the platform to do that. So it's how do you detect the language that you're using, the development language, compile that according to the code itself, pull the dependencies and the core OS for the container, create a container image, push that into a registry, and then deploy that into your environment. I've tried to simplify a pipeline for Kubernetes as much as I can without any application tests and security and measures and everything, but it's just that flow that I've just described. So when you're committing your code as a developer, you're doing that to a source control, and then you need to basically compile that code according to the development language you're using and create an OCI image, an open container image, and then push that into a registry because you need to save that image exactly like you're saving your code in a source control way. Once you do that and you have that container image in the registry with all the dependencies and core OS needed, now you can start thinking about the deployment phase. So how do you declare that container image in a YAML file or in a package and basically push that into a Kubernetes cluster? Or how do you do that automatically and promote the code between different environments and everything else? Now that the container is running, how do you expose that? So how do you take care of the Ingress controllers, the paths? And when it's running, how do you trace the logs and get the information about the application and basically managing every aspect of the production workload as well? And exactly for that, we have Tanzu Application Service for Kubernetes. So Tanzu Application Service for Kubernetes is basically taking care of everything inside of that flow that I've just mentioned. It's orchestrating the build itself, and it's using build service, by the way, in the backend. So if you want to know more about Tanzu build service, you can see a different video that I have with demo of build service. But it's basically taking the same concept of detect, compile, and push, and then it's also adding the CD, the deployment phase of pushing that workload into a platform, making sure it's running, adding additional services to that. So if you need to add data services like databases or anything else, and with a marketplace connecting to a service provider, and you will see everything in the demo, but basically making sure you have everything you need to run your application in your environment. Now, if I will take the same pipeline that I've just showed you, so as a developer, the only thing I need to do is to push the code. And from there, everything is being taken care of by Tanzu Application Service for Kubernetes. And everything is built on open source with open source tool sets that VMware is contributing. But again, it's open source and there's a lot of different community driven project here. You can see just the pipeline itself and the different open source projects that is a part of that Tanzu Application Service for Kubernetes. I haven't said that before, but basically that platform is leveraging also Istio as a service mesh, as a networking layer, also as an Ingress controller to expose your application, and taking care of the security, encryption, and everything else inside of that, including observability and everything. And of course, it's going to be part of Tanzu Service Mesh in the future. So let's go to the demo, and I hope you will enjoy and it will be useful. Okay. So I've changed my view into my different consoles, and the reason I'm splitting my screen is basically to show you the interaction with Cloud Foundry and what's going on in the backend in the Cloud Foundry and in the Kubernetes side. First thing I'm going to do is CF login. I will log into my CF with admin and password. I will choose my test organization, and you can see I'm in the test specs, and I will query for my apps. I have my UI up and running. As I said, it's already pre-configured, and I will browse that just to see the application. You can see there's an error because the service itself is not running, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. But before that, there's another component of the application that is running, and that's the database. I've connected my Cloud Foundry into
marketplace with mini broker, and I've created my service of MariaDB. This is just waiting for my application to be bound into. So now I'm just going to CF push my application. In the meantime, I will open logs, and it's going to take like a minute or two. So let's go and see what's going on the Kubernetes side of things on the bottom right side. So first of all, I will query for my namespaces. You can see there's a lot of namespaces that is related into the Cloud Foundry. CF workloads will be the one where the application is actually running, and CF workload staging will be the one where you have different jobs of the compilation and basically interacting with the application itself. Istio system is the service mesh networking layer. Mini broker is the backend service. That's the marketplace that I've connected to. So if I would query for pods in CF workloads, I can see my UI is running, and that's exactly the application that you see on the bottom left side. I would query for my pods in my staging area, and you will see there's a lot of tasks running right now. You can actually also see the logs of the Cloud Foundry in the top right side. If I will get service in my Istio system, that's the Ingress controller of my Istio installation, Istio service mesh, and that's the entry point of my Cloud Foundry domains. So every application that I'm creating is going to be pointed into the Ingress controller of Istio. And when I will do map between the UI and this backend service, that's actually creating a virtual service of Istio to divert the traffic with a specific path, in our case /API, to the backend service. Now, there's another two things that I want to show you on the Kubernetes side. You can see a VMware System TMC and a Wavefront namespaces. Those are part of the multi-cloud services that I will show in the next phase of the demo. And those are the components of the Tanzu Mission Control to manage multi-Kubernetes clusters across multiple clouds, and Wavefront, aka Tanzu Observability, and that's basically the matrix analysis and monitoring and everything else. Now you can see the application is up and running, so it's finished the CF push. And if I will keep going and just do a map route between the service and the UI, because right now there's no map, so if I will refresh that, it's not going to work. So I will create the map, and now if I will refresh, I'm getting into my app, and my app is okay, and I can get into my service. If I'm querying for CF app again, you can see the route with /API. And if I will do something like hello, you can see that I'm getting my to-dos. Now that's not consistent from storage side, from data side, because that's in memory, and you can see I have just one part of the service. So if I will scale that to more than one, and I will query for my pods, I can see that after the scale I have more pods of the service running, and it's up and running, so I can actually see when I'm doing refresh that it's gonna vanish. I won't have the hello. The reason for that is some of the pods doesn't have that hello in memory, so when I will keep going with the refresh, I will get into the pod that has that entry. Now I want to be able to stay consistent, and I need a backend database for those to-do lists that I will do. So I will bind my service of my MariaDB into the service of the to-do service. Now, if I will do services, I can see that my app is bound into the MariaDB, and now I need to restart my application. So I'm restarting the to-do service, and if I will do kubectl again, you can see that some of them is terminating and some of them is initializing, and those are the three new pods that I'm creating with the restart. The application is up. I can query for CF apps. I can see there's 3 out of 3, and if I will do that again, I can see the pods are running. Now if I will refresh that, I can see several entries that I've pre-made before that on the database. So TIS on Kubernetes demo, to do MariaDB service is up and connected. And that's the Tanzu application service phase. Let's go and see how can we connect into a different environment on GKE that has the exact same configuration, abstraction of the Kubernetes side, of the Tanzu application service side, and then go to multi-cloud management.